Hello and welcome to the OK Takes podcast. I am Matt, and as always, I'm joined by my fellow couple, Edward. As of 7:45 p.m. West Coast time, so it turns out the Isaiah Stewart brawl between him and LeBron that was supposed to unite the Lakers, and now they're going to go on a crazy run, end the East Coast stretch with a 2-game win streak. Nope, nope, it was all bullshit.
Yeah. And you're right. This should have been the win that kind of jump started the team because it was a comeback win, albeit against a subpar opponent, but it was still a comeback win. It was a win where the star player, LeBron, got ejected. And there, like you said, big brawl. So you would think this would maybe fire a little spark into the team, right?
Yeah. So I do want to touch on the Pistons game because I think it's much more important than like the Celtics game or the Bucks game, because all you have to know from those games is that we stunk. Just know that we stunk. There's no really positive takeaways from it. So going back to Isaiah Stewart brawl. So it occurred when the score was 78-66 with 9 minutes left in the third quarter. And it got bloody.
Yeah, I mean, LeBron basically like backwards punched him on it. It was like a box out, right, on a free throw. And he like kind of LeBron threw his arm back and it hit Isaiah Stewart. And he was like kind of bleeding profusely, like on his face. Yeah. It was bad.
Okay, so I have a couple very dumb takes. Oh yeah, if you actually wanted to listen to a serious discussion about it, go listen to JJ Redick and Stephen A. Argue. That's actually a great argument. But yeah, if you want to listen to people who are actually smart and have brain and don't have shit for brains, go listen to them. I think LeBron staged this. I think 100% this was a LeBron staging. And if you watch it, see, I don't think the punch is what made Isaiah Stewart bleed. I think LeBron purposely sharpened like his pinky nails and it was a slice. So I don't think he punched him. I think he sliced Isaiah.
He sliced him. I like that take. Man, and it should be worth noting this is the first ejection of LeBron's career, which is wild. Second,
yeah.
I thought it was the first. Oh no, it's the first suspension, second ever ejection. That's what it is. First suspension, second ever ejection. Yeah, they like, I don't want to say he staged it, but it did look intentional.
See, I think it was intentional. I don't think he meant to make him bleed like that. I think he wanted just like a little bit of drop of blood, like for people who have diabetes where you have like the prick and then testing your blood sugar. I think anywhere in the like around there, like a couple drops of blood like that. I think that was the goal. But so that didn't really go according to plan. It was kind of like in movies where like you use ketchup packets to fake blood. I mean, it was just insane. I mean, it was a flood.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of blood. Obviously, Isaiah Stewart had every right to be upset, and he was upset.
Yeah. It's like he went down on the wrong time of the month.
I mean, he would not. And I thought he was going to get more than a 2-game suspension because he was running, like he was trucking over like team employees, like arena security. Like there were like police on the court that he was running over. Like it was wild.
So that's why I think that it was all staged because Isaiah Stewart's going absolutely nuts. There was like, saw one little clip, John Boy was doing a breakdown where he knocked there was a coach and he knocked his glasses and just his notebook flew out of his hand. It was hilarious. It just picked up some wings and took off. And LeBron, I think, was on the look because LeBron really didn't do anything. So when he started going crazy, I think LeBron is on the lookout. Like, okay, who is really in my foxhole? Who really wants to protect me? And we saw that was Russ.
I was gonna say
he had a great game. DeAndre Jordan was not more terrible than usual. So yeah, I think LeBron was just on the lookout to see who really fucks with me and who really wants to get traded before the All-Star break.
I just want to say the best part of that whole thing was when Isaiah Stewart made his charge back towards the Lakers, Russ putting his arms up in like fighting. Oh, that was awesome. Russ was ready to go, man.
Yeah, I want to see. I don't think like Russ has really ever thrown like a solid punch like a Runed or Odor to Jose Bautista. I don't think he's ever like clocked somebody like that, but I would really love to see it.
I need a haymaker from Russ this season.
I need LeGarrette Blount against the Boise State offensive lineman.
Yeah, we need it. We need it.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so it was actually also very funny because Isaiah Stewart's getting pretty much he's about to leave the tunnel, pauses, runs back in, and it's like, okay, you had the shine. Like now it's just even like this is something we need to call like a 51-50 on.
Yeah, I mean, like he kind of took it out of proportion. Like he kind of blew it out of proportion. I think Isaiah a little bit. I honestly thought it was going to be just another Malice at the Palace. What's their new stadium called? I can't even think of what the Pistons' new arena is called. Some new sponsor. We'll call it AT&T. Malice at the AT&T Center. I was fully ready for like the 30 for 30 trailer to come out in like a year.
Mm-hmm. I knew it was going to get that bad because thing is, it would have gotten bad if he actually did something when LeBron was right in front of his face. Because there was a moment where it was classic hold me back guy. Because if he wanted to, he could have clocked LeBron like because they were breathing on each other.
Isn't that what we called Harold last year? The hold me back guy. I'm pretty sure that's how we referred to Montrezl Harrell last season.
Mm-hmm. Like he was in the same camp as like Jamison Crowder, or should be Jay Crowder, not Jamison. Jay Crowder.
Yeah, Jay Crowder.
Yeah, classic hold me back guys. So yeah, I guess Isaiah Stewart has put himself there. But so it was kind of crazy because when it happened, like I said before, it was 78-66, 9 minutes left in the third. And then they still ended the third down 99-84. So it's not like that was the run that ignited everything.
Yeah, and this was like probably the best fourth quarter of the year on both sides of the ball for the Lakers. Outscored the Pistons by 20, 37-17. So, you would expect something like that to, I guess, happen quickly and immediately be like, okay, the Lakers go on their run and the emotion. But like, I do think with a situation like that, it kind of takes time to get the emotion out. And then the Lakers realize, wait, this is a 4-win team.
Yeah. Yeah. And Russ at one point had a 9-0 run himself.
Yeah. Russ was awesome. Russ has actually been really good lately. I was looking to come into this show and give Russ some praise because he's been really good. He was 1 rebound away from a triple double Sunday night. Mm-hmm. Only had 3 turnovers, which from the beginning of the year,
Russ is on like a 3 or 4 turnover curve.
Exactly. He is. We're used to seeing 12 turnovers. So for him to have 3, that's as good as 0. But yeah, I mean, Russ was huge.
Yeah. Quote from Russ that just kind of made me hate Russ a little and made me want to pull my hair up more. He said after the game, whenever I get into attack mode, it's something that's beneficial for me and the team. You think?
This is what fans have been asking for. Attack.
Is literally all we wanted. And I know I know that there are some caveats to it, I'm sure, but we would just so much rather watch you just bulldoze motherfuckers. And even if you get called for charges, I'd rather see a charge get called than a bricked 3.
Exactly. Russell Westbrook, like I've been preaching this about LeBron since the second he signed for the Lakers. I would rather live and die by LeBron attacking the basket because 99% of the time he's going to get fouled. And then the other 1%, it's going to be a charge. He's either going to score and get fouled or that, at the off chance they get called for a charge. Like Russ is the same player. Like I'll live and die by that if I have to.
And now we kind of have like a dual threat of them both. It's literally like having Taysom Hill and Mark Ingram.
Taysom Hill just signed a contract, by the way.
That makes no sense. It makes no sense. Well, like pretty much imagine it's like the 2001 Buccaneers, like Mike Alstott and Lorenzo Neal. It's like you have 2 of the greatest fullbacks. Like that's kind of what it's like. You just have 2 power backs running through.
Exactly. Yeah, that is kind of what it's like. And, if they happen to draw the double team, that's when they kick out to the shooters like Carmelo or Monk or Wayne Ellington.
Okay. Is it time we start discussing this game now? I feel like that's a perfect leeway.
The Knicks game? Yeah, let's yeah.
I want to discuss a little Carmelo. Just a little Carmelo. He wasn't very good tonight. He's actually very bad again. He was very bad. He went 3 for 14, 2 of 8 from 3. So that's the problem. Is that like basketball's so dumb because it's like, yeah, and then they drive and you kick out, and then everybody makes threes. But what the hell happens when Carmelo goes 3 of 14 and 2 from 8 from 3?
Yeah, I mean, these nights happen. They've been happening more frequently lately. And I guess this is a really good segue for my take on the roster that I teased to you before we started recording. Last year, what was the Lakers' biggest weakness? Just 3-point shooting, right? And we were really good defensively. We had guys like Harrell, we had guys like Drummond. And so this year, I think the Lakers overcorrected, don't have enough defense, signed a lot of shooters who right now aren't shooting very well. Melo's been struggling lately. THT was 0 for 8 tonight. I mean,
Malik Monk was 1 for 7.
Malik Monk was 1 for 7. So I think Avery Bradley was 3 for 8, which isn't bad, but they overcorrected with the roster and they signed too many shooters. And when all your shooters are off, you can't expect to win.
That is good. That is a very good take. Yeah, I literally right there with you. I'm right there with you. Because when you have like your bench shooting 4 of 18 from 3, which honestly isn't that bad, and it's just because you got the 2 from Melo. But yeah, I mean, it was just an awful day. It really was an awful day from beyond the arc. And it's like, yeah, well, what do we do now? Especially when it's like, okay, well, we don't have LeBron. So now, and LeBron, historically not great from 3. We already know that. And he hasn't really ticked up in 3-point percentage at all. So it's like, oh yeah, well, what the hell do we do now?
Yeah, I mean, we're just going to have to rely on winning games when our shooters are hot. And when our shooters aren't hot, we just got to pray that LeBron and Westbrook and Davis can do enough to carry. I think that's going to be the story for the Lakers going forward. When the shooters are on, they're going to look really good and they're going to win games. When the shooters are missing, like they were tonight and like they kind of have been recently, can LeBron, Westbrook, and AD put it together and carry us to wins? That's how I think this season's going to play out.
Yeah, I think I still want to touch on a little bit more about our shooters because like Avery Bradley, who had the best, let me see. Yeah, he did have the best night from 3. He went 3 of 8. But a lot of those, like I believe those 3 threes were made, or none of those were made in the fourth quarter. So he got really cold when it came down to crunch time, when the Lakers had a chance to surpass the Knicks. And like, God damn, it's just how you get ahead in games. You just have to make the 3 ball. And today, like, I would say like everybody on the team has to make the 3 ball, but you have to have 2 or 3 guys in the court at all time who can drill.
Well, hey, statistically, the guy who we were just telling to stop shoot had the best night from 3. Russ was 3 for 6. So when Russ is your best 3-point shooter, you're probably not going to win a game. So you're right. Like we need to have shooters on. Like I texted you late in the like halfway through the fourth quarter. I think it goes without saying that someone who's 0 for 7 on the night probably shouldn't be on the floor.
Ooh, it's the time for the THT.
One more thing. I just think that, and I know Malik Monk didn't play any, like everybody shot poorly tonight. So it's hard to say like, oh, take THT off for Monk or take THT off for Melo because everyone shot poorly. So it just goes back to my point. Those guys are going to have to all get hot at the same time for us to win a lot of games.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem. And something like Melo's actually very sporadic because he hasn't been, so he was really, really dog shit today. I mean, Jesus Christ, Melo, come on. Homecoming game. You just wanted to have Melo trip all over the Knicks and just have a great fuck you game. But yeah, because Melo went, so against the Pistons, he went 5 of 8 from 3. Amazing. That's incredible. He went 3 of 4 against the Celtics. Once again, really solid. But then he went 2 of 8 against Milwaukee, which isn't that bad. But then he went 0 for 4 against the Bulls. So Melo is just Mr. Sporadic. You hope that he could just string along. Your goal is to get every like 4 games, you want to get a hot Melo. You want to get Dagger, him hit in the headband, the little snipe.
Yeah. You want to get the 3 fingers to the temple celebration.
But just know that like in a 4-game stretch, you're guaranteed one of those not being one of those days. A game like tonight.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you do bring up a very good point with THT. I mean, 2 different humans, just the 2 different humans from first 3 games versus last 3 games. My THT take is, wow, like this is our young gun. Because if you look at the roster, it's one of the, I think it's the oldest roster in the NBA. And looking through everything, you're like, okay, well, nobody on here is young besides Austin Reeves. So it's like, well, the future. He is the future. And the way he's played the past 3 games, it makes me very sad when I see Emmanuel quickly drilling in the fourth quarter for the Knicks, and really was one of the main reasons why they won.
Yeah. And it's tough because I don't know if he should be getting more minutes or less minutes, because in the 3 games, his first 3 games back, he had first game against the Spurs, 17 points in 27 minutes. Then in his next game back, 28 points in 37 minutes, and then 25 and 39 minutes. And his minutes haven't gone down, 27, 33, and then 29 tonight. He's just been poor. So it's like, I don't know. Should he be getting less minutes and have more of a bench role where he can maybe be a spark plug? Or should he be getting 37, 39 minutes a game and be on the court with the best players who can get him the best looks?
I think I'm going to go with the latter. I like him on the court with the best players who get him the best looks. I think he just needs to shoot himself out of this.
Yeah.
Which I don't know how long it's going to take him. That's the problem with the mentality that you're only one shot away from getting hot.
Yeah, he needs to get hot again. Yeah, because and hopefully it comes sooner rather than later because we need it.
Yeah, this is bad. This is not good. This is not good. So we are 1-3 on the road trip right now, and we're going to play the Pacers tomorrow. I was feeling very good about that until the Pacers waxed the Bulls. So I was like, okay, well, shit. I think that happened Sunday night. Monday night. But yeah, I mean, in your honest opinion, when you look at this team, you're like, playing game, maybe?
Yeah, I think they'll get a play-in spot for sure. And they have 4 winnable games in a row, 2 against the horrible Sacramento Kings who just fired their coach, 1 against the Pistons. That's going to be an emotional game. That'll be interesting to see. And then, like you said, the Pacers tomorrow night. I said last time, if they don't go 3-2 or better on this road trip, I'm calling them done. I think they might be done. I don't think they're winning the title this year. I'm confident in that. And my definition of done is they're not going to have a home playoff series. That's what I think.
Okay. All right.
They're going to be 5 through 8.
See, we have different definitions of done. I guess it really comes down to what happens in the playoffs, because for me, definition of done is embarrassed, like the Suns last year. Like we really, really got absolutely manhandled for the whole world to see. And we were part of that was where the Suns, like, magic really first started going. It wasn't that close of a series. Like the Suns did their shit. Devin Booker's on top of the world. Suns and 4. Like that's what that really was the genesis of everything. Mm-hmm. So I think that's a good definition of done. I think my definition of done is losing the play-in game. I think that's where I'll put the done chain on them.
So you're willing to wait that long to declare them done? Okay.
Yeah, because here's the thing. I'm holding out hope, because honestly, just as a fan perspective, it's not that, like, where my teams are at right now, USC sucks. The Dodgers aren't on, and the Dodgers ended on a bad note. So yeah, I want to have a little bit of positivity. I don't want to give up in November for a season that lasts all the way until May. So it's not going to be very fun. And yeah, like it's weird. I'm more optimistic than I've ever been, because I'm notoriously pessimistic with the Lakers.
Yeah. And I mean, usually I am too. I'm notoriously optimistic when it comes to my teams, especially the Dodgers. I go into every season thinking the Dodgers are going to win 110 games and win it all. But with the Lakers coming into this season, I was like, oh my God, like, this is my favorite roster since the 2010 Kobe teams. I was so optimistic coming in. I was like, this team is going to be so much fun. They're going to be the 1 seed. They're going to win the finals. So I guess I should kind of alter what I'm trying to say. And it's more of like, I think they're my belief in them as a title contender is done. I don't think this team can contend for the title. The way they're constructed and the way they look right now, I don't see it.
Well, you also are getting absolutely nothing from DeAndre Jordan. I guess you have the lob ups. He just can't create his own shot. Same thing with Dwight. It's that like you just don't get any juice off the bench. Give me juice. I just don't see any juice from them.
Not at all. And you want your bench players to bring a spark, because if your starters aren't doing so hot, and you want the bench to come in and kind of bring a different level of energy, or if your starters are balling, you want the bench to come in and keep the energy. And that just hasn't been the case.
And I'm just getting kind of like, especially with the second unit, I'm just getting kind of bored with them. I have a feeling of like when I'm watching Wayne Ellington get on the court, and it kind of sucks now because like Malik Monk really was pretty solid to begin the year. I remember this Charlotte game, he was going absolutely nuts. But yeah, look at this kind of what's happened lately. I'm just like, wow, it feels like just an air is being let out of a balloon, and it's just slowly dying.
And that's part of why I think THT coming off the bench might be beneficial, because he's young, he's athletic, he's an exciting player to watch. He'll bring a good energy off the bench, unlike a 33-year-old veteran like Wayne Ellington and Kent Bazemore. Like you want that youthful exuberance off the bench, I feel like.
Yeah, it's the Kent Bazemore thing. What the hell, man? What the hell? Did not play. It was a coach's decision. I think it was a fan's decision at this point.
Yeah, I think Vogel has a burner account on Twitter, and he reads through all of what Lakers Twitter has to say and just wants to keep the fans happy.
Oh my God. I just don't know what to do, because they're so bad that I think that if it comes a time where they're like 10th or 11th seed, come January, it's gonna be a lot of turnover. And I would love turnover just for the fact that I get to see somebody new suck.
That's a good little talking point. At what like where do we have to be around the deadline for there to be major moves made? Like what?
Mm-hmm. I think LeBron's going to trade himself to the contender.
LeBron trades himself to Golden State.
Yeah, exactly. Like the most evil NBA fan fiction from Reddit just gets pulled out of nowhere, and LeBron is literally dunking on the entire West Coast with Steph Curry throwing him lobs.
Yeah, God.
Oh man. I think, that's honestly, I think my final take on the situation is LeBron's going to trade himself.
Yes, I think I'm there. I'm there with you. He's going to trade himself to like Golden State or like Miami again.
See, that's kind of a problem with me, is that I don't want to see the Lakers lose, but I want to see LeBron fail. I love watching LeBron's plans backfire.
Hey, then you must love what you're seeing right now.
I kind of am. I really am, because this lineup was 99% LeBron, 1% Rob Pelinka.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure Rob Pelinka wanted DeRozan.
Mm-hmm. I love the idea that they're sitting down with each other and LeBron's telling, and Pelinka showing him every single thing, pointing to why Buddy Hield or DeMar DeRozan is a smarter play than Russell Westbrook, so they could also keep Alex Caruso. It was probably going to be an all NBA defensive team. And then LeBron's like, he just shows him 2010 Carmelo and just shows him crazy highlights from Westbrook's year. And he's like, no, trust me. No, LeBron, let the front office do their job, because it has worked in the past, but now it finally caught up to him. And it's too perfect that the true demise of LeBron happens when he's on my favorite team.
Oh yeah. It's poetic justice, I feel like.
So yeah, I'm kind of ready. I feel the same way about USC. It's like, I just want to blow everything up just so I can watch somebody new suck.
Are we already in blow it up territory for the Lakers?
Wow. I don't know how I went from, I'm so optimistic about this year, and then I'm turned into blow it up.
You're Jesus around my energy is bringing you down, or my lack thereof.
But I just look at what's going on. It's like you just can't no you can no longer say that there isn't enough like we just haven't had enough time to build chemistry. Well, part of the reason is because none of these guys have fucking played together. So
Yeah.
you watch teams like the Warriors, like God, reason why the Warriors are so good is because they know what's going to happen before it happens, because they know each teammate so goddamn well. And it's just
Yeah.
it's literally there because it's just years and years and years. So trying to flip everything around and get guys on the same page, it's not going to happen. And it's just way the roster is constructed.
Yeah. And I mean, I know this is a Laker pod, but I just want to say the Warriors are going to win it all, man.
The Warriors are so it's like, how are you going to compete?
They're 15-2, and they still don't have Clay back
And
or
then,
James Wiseman.
okay. And then you look at just who's below them, the Suns. The Suns are ripping off wins left and right. So it's like, yeah, I just don't see if because this roster was supposed to compete with the best teams in the West. Maybe not make it all, maybe not win the finals, but that was the goal of mine. So it's like when you don't meet the goal, then somebody has to get blamed for it. Like there has to be a blame game going on, and the blow up kind of has to happen because this is a 1-year roster team.
Yeah, I envy those rosters. Like I really wish the Lakers roster was constructed like those two teams. And come next year, the roster is probably going to look really different again.
Yeah. 44 million to Westbrook. And he was good tonight. Okay. Well,
he was really good tonight.
We're so back and forth right now just because we're lamenting, but Westbrook was awesome tonight. So now we have the weird question of maybe it's not Westbrook and it's a lot of the role players. So it's like we got the good Westbrook game, but then we got a bad game from Carmelo, and we got a bad game from Lake Monk, and a bad game from THT. And you're just like, I don't know what to do. I just don't know what to do. Because as soon as the role players start stepping up, Westbrook is going to have a triple single.
And also Anthony Davis was sick. He wasn't at his best tonight. 20 points on 7 for 17 shooting. So I feel like Russ did a nice job carrying the load, but yeah, it's like I wish I could see it all come together at once. I wish I could see Russ put up a 30-point triple-double while Carmelo puts up like 18 points with 4 threes. But I guess you can't have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah. Oh my God, this sucks. This fucking sucks, man. Because the problem is that like everything is getting put away and like hid behind football season. But as soon as February 6th hits and I have no football to think of, and all my attention goes to the Lakers, kill me, please.
We could be a completely different team come February, though. Like, imagine we just rip LeBron off like 20 wins in our next 30 games.
And we won't even have LeBron. Imagine that. LeBron trades himself. And the Lakers get better.
Yeah. LeBron trades himself. We rip off 20 wins in 30 games, and then look where we are.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So I don't really have anything left to complain about. My mood has soured completely. I didn't realize I was going to go down this rabbit hole, but here I am. And like, when I'm editing tonight, I'm just going to get even more sad when I have to really think about the Lakers. I can't hide behind Sunday football anymore. I can't.
I'm sorry. I feel like this is my fault.
Partially.
Okay.
But it's like, whose fault is it really? The Lakers.
The Lakers, yeah. One day it'll get better.
Yes, it will. Okay. What'd you guys get? We're recording after the game. We don't have as much time to collect our thoughts. This is just knee jerk out the ass. All right. So thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode. If you would like to follow myself on social media, Instagram and Twitter, find me at MattWeiner20. If you'd like to follow Edward on his social media, you can find him at Edward_Vento. And if you have no care in the world for anything we have to say, make sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at OK Takes Pod. That is OKAY Takes Pod. OKAY Takes Pod. Takes 2 seconds and will help us tremendously. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and have a wonderful day.